Okay, so greeting everyone. We are grateful to have you here with us today. So let's begin a session with an inspiring quote. So, personal growth is not about becoming someone else, it's about becoming the best version of yourself by embracing change, learning continuously, and stepping out of your comfort zone. So, as your host, I Nandini, would like to warmly welcome each and every one of you here today. And it's given me a great pleasure to extend a warm hello to each and every one of you gathered here today. And now I would like to share a few lines about the event. So, personal growth and development, it's referred to ongoing process of improving yourself emotionally, intellectually, and socially, and it involves enhancing your skills, knowledge, and self-awareness to achieve your full potential. So, before I proceed further, let me take a brief moment for the introduction of our organization. So, Saints Welfare Foundation is a registered non-profit organization and it is dedicated to social impact across various sectors. We focus on education, particularly skill development and entrepreneurship. And through our initiative, DD Saksham, we have created training programs in IT, finance, retail, entrepreneurship over 600 individuals. And Friendly is another SEMS initiative. It's empower women through workshops and stories. So now let me take this wonderful occasion to publicly present and welcome Sir Amit Gupta, the speaker for the today's international webinar. And now I would like to tell few lines about a speaker. So he possesses a diverse skills and he possesses a diverse skills and extensive knowledge, including education and training expertise. A certified trainer for GMAT, SET, IELTS, and TOEFL, with advanced certification in English language teaching and leadership and mentorship also, and quality and process improvement. He holds a yellow and green belt certification in quality management. So, sir, your presence is added to the significance of this event, and we are genuinely honored to have you here. Okay, so with
Thank you
this
so
note,
much, Nandini.
yes, appreciate, sir. And with this note, I, Nandini, on behalf of Saints Welfare Foundation, would like to extend a warm and a heartfelt welcome to you.
Thank you so much, Nandini, for this wonderful welcome and the introduction. Now, let's begin. Hello, everybody. Good morning. A very warm good morning to all of you. My name is Amit Gupta, and I'll be just talking about personal growth, personal development, how it is different, what it is all about, what are the things involved in it, and all those things. And in the last we will be talking about the questions also, so I'll welcome all type of your questions so that we can discuss. So it's a knowledge sharing session, just count it accordingly. And let's begin without wasting a single second. Let me just share the PPT, the presentation. I hope it is visible to all of us, right?
Yes,
Yes.
Right. Okay, thank you so much. Let's talk about what is personal growth and development. I'm sure it's not something that we are not even aware of what is personal growth. We are aware that what this word means and how does it work. So my today's session would not be, I'll not be much talking about what it is. I'll not be talking about, more emphasizing on what is personal growth and all, but I'll be talking about majorly how can we improve ourselves, how can we develop ourselves. That is what my main focus will be for today's session. But little bit we'll be talking about the introduction, like what is what is personal growth, okay, and then I'll be talking about why it is important, as well as majorly focusing on how. So let's quickly move it on and talk about what is the personal growth and how it is different from our professional growth. I'll just ab initio, I'll start with the beginning and I'll just talk about what exactly the personal growth that we understand. So when we talk about personal growth means how are we improving. It's not like our money is improving or professionally are we getting promotions or not. It's about are we improving ourselves. So how can you identify? So let's just do a simple test right now, and this is a request. We all have to do a personal test. So that test is that we have to compare ourselves from last 5 years ourselves. Let's say, for example, if I'm Amit, so I'll be comparing myself from last 5 years or maybe last 10 years, and I'll see where I was standing at that point of time and today where am I standing if I talk about my personal growth? I'm sure majority of us will get answer like professionally, okay, this time, that time I was earning, or maybe I was not earning, I was in school or college, and today I'm earning this much. No, my main focus is that what are we, I mean, how are we improving from a personal growth? So what are the checks that you need to go ahead with is that talk about your learning skills, like how much you had the knowledge at that point of time, and today how much knowledge you have. Second is that skill set, what type of skill set you had at that point of time and today. Third, networking, at that point of time, how many friends you have, how many people you knew, and today how many people you know, right? And fourth, the last point is that your your personal, I mean, physical growth, like that point of time you were obese or you were healthy, today are you healthy or not? I mean, your food habits, your eating habits has changed or not? All these things you have to check. Now I'm just giving you 1 second to check it, and then we will move ahead. Just a second, just think about it. I'm sure you must be having different answers. In couple of skills you must be thinking, yes, we have improved, and couple of points we did not improve. Now let's talk about, this is called personal growth, guys, and now we will be understanding more deeply how it can help us and how can we move forward. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's quickly understand how it is different from professional growth. So 5-10 years ago when you were in school, your professional growth related to your scores, how much scores you were getting actually. If you were in college, again, the scores, the internships, and all those things. If you were in a job, then it depends like how much you were earning at that point of time, right? How many places you have traveled, all those things. So that is why we will be just talking about the personal growth today, not the professional growth. So I'm sure we must have understood and identified the difference between the personal growth and the professional growth, and we have checked where do we stand today in the personal growth, in terms of personal growth. So this is pretty important statement that you can see, guys, and this is what we have to go ahead with as well. Generally we feel that okay, we have to learn things from outside world. We are going on YouTube, learning things, maybe doing some certifications or going to the classrooms, thinking in keeping in mind that we'll learn something. But this is very important and inquisitive information that we can see. If an egg is broken by an outside force, life ends. And if broken by inside force, life begins. And that is what the self-aware, self-development is all about. Great things always begin from the inside. So when we see things from our eyes, what exactly we are doing, we are actually looking at the things outside, and then entire data is going inside and then process, and then we are able to understand what it is going on. Similarly, we have to come within ourselves and then we can go ahead. That is what the main thing of self development. With this quote, let's understand how many criterias, how many things are there that we have to talk about and understand. So we will be covering 5 areas because that is what the self development occurs: mental growth, social growth, spiritual growth, emotional growth, and physical growth. How can we do this? So we have understood what it is all about. We have understood why it was important. Now and we will be focusing how, and that is what we'll be moving ahead now. We have to change our habits. We have to develop our discipline, start a new hobby. All those things are something that you have to make it curious. So if you do not develop your discipline, nothing will gonna happen. You're gonna just attend this session. After some time, you will forget what has happened. Let's say some days, few days, you may have the regress, but later on you can forget this. So we have to develop the discipline, and we are ready to change the habits from today itself. That's what we have to understand before we start uncovering the areas of our self growth. Okay, let's begin now. Let's talk about the first one, mental growth. What is mental development or cognitive development? So intellectual development is pretty important. Why? As we age, as we grow, our cognitive abilities, our intellectual, our brain also develops, and we also learn couple of things. We added so many skills to our knowledge, and this is how we enhance. So how can we further improve it towards the self development? So you have tested already where do we stand now. How to develop more is like three things I'm talking about: reading, critical thinking, and lifelong learning. So I'll talk about the reading first. Since beginning, I'm sure since schooling we have been listening this that we have to read more, we have to read more, right? I totally agree, and I'm sure most of you must be reading on daily basis as well. You might have read so many books, and you keep adding adding books to your kitty. If we are not able to retain the information, how it is important or why are we reading it? So that is why we should have a targeted reading. When I say targeted reading means you should be able to have a target on daily basis that at least I have to read these many pages on daily basis. And this is what the discipline is. So if you think that, okay, we are not reading book for next 5 6 days, but on Sunday I'll be completing half of the book or one third of the book, that will not gonna work. Even though you can complete the book, but that's will not gonna train your brain. And this is pretty important right now because you have to develop if you have to develop a good habits, the discipline is pretty important, and this is what it will gonna help. There are many examples out there, but I would like to quote a couple of people, such as Mr. Mukesh Ambani. Once in his interview, he said that I do not just read one book at a time. I read 3 4 books at a time, and I have made a discipline that I'll be reading a specific number of pages on daily basis for each book. And this is how I'm able to, learn so many things at the same time. So that is what the first thing and the one thing that we have to keep in mind. Now, in today's scenario, we are not just limited to reading. We can use audiobooks, we can watch videos, and that's how we can, enhance our knowledge. I'm sure this is the question that you must be thinking, and you will be thinking that, okay, why do we require to read the books? But no, that's important. I'll tell you why. Our brain is something, when we are watching something, we are able to grasp things more, but the retention power can be different. But when we are reading the books, the retention power is the least, and you do not get interest also. It's so boring. And that is what the discipline will work here. So this is the first thing that you should start from today onwards, right? Second is critical thinking. It's pretty important. Now, what is critical thinking? I'll just quickly make you understand. Let's say, for example, we need something. To quote an example, let's say we need to buy a new mobile. I mean, I need to buy a new mobile, let's say, and I don't have money. So I need to go to my father and I have to convince him that please buy me a new phone. So what I'll be doing? I'll be pitching, I'll be selling. I'll be telling him that, okay, I need a new mobile, regardless whether I have a perfectly correct mobile or like some kind of things. So just imagine if you have to convince your parents or your father to buy a new phone, what you will be doing? You won't be going and saying, hey papa, please buy me a new phone. Of course not, right? You will be providing some specific reasons. You will be understanding that, okay, he'll be asking, why do you need a new phone? It is much expensive, or which phone you would like to buy. So first you have to convince, please buy me a new phone. If he convinced, then you have to say, okay, this is the mobile that I'm looking for. Or let's say if you're looking for iPhone or some kind of expensive mobiles, you have to convince. Second point, you have to convince like why this expensive mobile. So are you getting me what I'm saying? This is the arguments that you're gonna make. You're gonna make your claims, your evidences, and that has to be strong. Otherwise, father will simply reject. Sorry, you can go. Now, some of you might be thinking, regardless what type of arguments we're gonna share with our parents, they'll just gonna say that no, it's not possible, right? And they'll just simply say, sorry, you can go work. I mean, concentrate on your studies, or maybe get the this much marks, and then we can think about it. But this was just an example. In our real life, we have to do this every day, everywhere. And if you look at the long run in your life, you're gonna have to do this everywhere, right? Everywhere. So that is why we have to work on our critical thinking. Unfortunately, when we study, right, at that point of time, we did not understand the significance of this critical reasoning. And let me quote an example also. So when we are writing the answers in our exam, we are not focusing that we have to work on quality. We are focusing on the quantity, how many pages we are filling. So that's how the critical thinking is not evolving, and that's what we need to work on. So how can we work on it? I've written just 2 examples. You can just indulge in debates, solving puzzles. Now, when I say debates, doesn't mean that I have to prove my point. No, when I say debates means you have to provide such type of evidences, such type of claims which are pretty important. I mean, not just important, rather I should say that strong. The other person should able to understand that what you are trying to say has weightage or not. At least he can't just delete it like that. So there'll be some facts, some figures specifically, so that you can bolster your claims. Lastly, the lifelong learning. So you are focused, you are disciplined, you are doing reading, and you are able to enhance your critical thinking as well. Now what you require more facts, more understanding, more knowledge, more skills. So for that, you can start a specific hobby. that can help you to learn a new skill, a new skill set. Maybe it can be coding, designing. It definitely relates to you guys. I would like to quote one, I would like to mention an important point over here. Being a counselor, I have seen one problem with our students and with our mindset is like, if I'm talking about my career, I just ask, okay, which career has a scope? Which subject has a scope? No, that's a wrong question. We should definitely ask this question to ourselves, that what am I good at? Which skill I'm good at? Because trust me, it's not about scope, because it can change any day, any time. You cannot be very certain that after, so let's say for example, you are going to do engineering, and you are thinking, okay, which engineering has a scope? Okay, this computer engineering. Okay, great. But how can you think about after 5 years? Because that is when you will be graduated. And what if you were required to do your MBA or maybe your MS? So that's how it. So that is why you should not concentrate on what is the scope or what you're gonna do good at. You should be concentrating on what you are good at, and then you will find that the scope is always there, always there. I'm sure. Let me quote an example. For instance, I was watching that Ambani's wedding. All of us are aware. I got to know over there, I got to know that there was a lady who came there in Ambani's wedding just to do that mehendi. And you know what? That henna or that mehendi, she was a celebrity actually. And because she had a good skills, she could do it differently. She became celebrity mehendi designer, and that was very shocking to me. And don't think of, you can Google it, how much she is earning. So it's all about your skill set, all about your skill set. If you look at your nature, you will find that each and every plant has its own significance. Some are indoor plants, some are outdoor plants, some are for medication, some are for other reasons, right? But they cannot change themselves, right? They are good at that, and that's how they are flourishing. So when you need that, you will definitely gonna reach to that. And this is what all about. So my request, so if you are going with lifelong learning, okay, you are adding some kind of skills to you. Do not just look at what is the scope, what is more popular, what is good at. You just always should look for what you are good at and then go ahead with. Okay. With this, let's move on to the some practices. So guys, I have some examples. Like you can look at these examples that I have mentioned here. Some YouTube videos that you can watch, some TEDx videos that can help you to improve your intellectual development. You may take a screenshot or you may type it. So when you will type this on the YouTube, you will find you can exactly enjoy them. And it's just not like you are watching it. You need to understand them. Okay, how exactly they are doing, and then how you have to do this. So this is what you can watch. Moving ahead to the next skill set, social development. So when I talk about social development, means how socially we are developing and evolving ourselves. You must have heard it's all about networking. That's right, it's an important. So let's imagine the test that we did initially 5 years ago or 10 years ago. At that point of time, if you had any work to be done, whom you approached first? If you go to parents, you know the answer. But if you moved to your friends, you knew that, okay, who can do this or who could not do this. So it is all about networking. Today also, if you talk about, if you need, let's say if you want to borrow some money, you know whom to approach, who can you help with. And I'm sure that most of you must be taking help first from the friends and then from relatives or some other people, right? So this is what all about networking. This is what you need to improve. Now, how it will gonna improve you as a person? So if you have a good people around you, you'll automatically be good, right? So this is what all about networking that you need to improve. Second point is the communication skills. I'm just quoting my example. You can see this, my certificate that I have mentioned here. So I got to know about this Toastmasters Club, which is helping people to improve their communication skills. I went there as a guest over there. So it was my first meeting. I went there as a guest and I won this table topic speaker award. So these kind of clubs are helping people to improve their communication skills. So if you are struggling there, if you're struggling in this criteria that you're not able to communicate people with confidence, guys, please go join these type of clubs and improve yourself. Right. One more thing I would like to talk about is that here is that the voluntarily activities, unpaid activities. So you can go and join some community work, help people around you, improve the communication skills, the networking, as well as the most important is that your mindset, your happiness will gonna, it's not just like improve, it will be affluent, abundant, you'll find it. So this is what my request would be, and I would be suggesting you just go and do some kind of voluntary work, and you'll be very much happy. So I'll quote my example here that I was a part of Rotary Club. I was secretary of Rotary Club. I worked there for 2 years rigorously, and I loved it. And I'm talking about when I was in college. Rotaract Club. So I was a part of Rotaract Club. I became secretary over there and I worked so many things over there. And I loved the work. All were just unpaid work. It was voluntary work. Today also I am associated with Time Bank of India. If you are aware of Time Bank of India means like there are many old people around us who need some time, let's say in medical emergencies and so many things. So they do not have their children with them, so they face problem like, let's say, just old man and old couple is there at home, and if they have some kind of emergencies, they have no one to communicate. So that's why this Time Bank of India came into the picture, where they are part of Time Bank. Then they have a community, we have a community, and then whenever someone needs help, we are there to help him or her. So this is what, so what am I doing is like I'm just enjoying and rejoicing my moments over there, and I'm being very happy by doing this voluntary activities. So this is all things you can do. Last part is conflict resolution. This is an important part. Every day we get to, we get in some kind of situations where we see the conflicts all around us, everywhere. We can't save ourselves. So what do? We need to understand how to resolve the conflicts. And how can you do this? When you will improve your social development, when you will be, improve your social skills, you will be able to have a good hand in conflict resolutions. And this point also, your critical reasoning will gonna work. So like why someone is wrong, why someone is right, you'll be able to understand and then help that person properly. So this is all interrelated, and I'm sure you will be able to understand about the social development. Now let's move on and talk about some examples, right? Okay, so this is what one YouTube video that I have mentioned here, the art of effective communication, that you can watch. You can put it on YouTube and you can watch this video. There are so many videos, and I refer TEDx actually, TED Talks, which are really important and beneficial to improve ourselves in our self development, skill development, and professional development as well. So you can watch this, just my recommendation. Now, moving ahead towards third and the fourth skills together, spiritual and emotional development. Okay, so what exactly it is? So, spiritual is not related to religion, okay? We shall not just limit it to the religion only. What is the spiritual and emotional development? Let's talk about it. Spiritual development is about mindfulness. See, let's understand, whatever you see, okay, in a human, that is a hardware, and the software is inside the brain. That is your software. If I just have to compare it with just making an analogy with a computer actually. So whatever you see as a computer, that is hardware, and inside you know that okay, the software is working. So this is spiritual and emotional development is for your software. So develop your software. See, if your software is wonderful, your hardware will automatically work, and that's what happens with a human, right? So how can you improve your spiritual and emotional development? By doing some mindful practices such as yoga, meditation, and some other activities as well. And you know what, it's not just limited to yoga or meditation. Some people feel happy when they are with some kind of specific people, when they are around with some kind of specific people. And obviously, if we go and speak to our parents, if we spend some time with our parents or maybe grandparents, we get that emotional support automatically. And that will gonna help us to boost our confidence as well as our mindfulness. Nextly, there are some people who like to take a break, go for some vacations, maybe on mountains, on beaches, and then they feel when they are near to nature, all those activities and things that will gonna help you. So how can you make a practice, right? So whatever is available, the kind of resources that is available to you, according to that you can make that okay, this is what I'll be doing on daily basis will gonna help me. So that is why they have mentioned the yoga and meditation. It's just like just sit for some time, for some minutes, and just talk to yourself. Let the haphazardly scattered ideas come to your brain, let them flock. But that's perfectly fine. Just think and just let them come. What type of ideas are coming? Don't just organize them. Just think so that just sit for a couple of minutes and just talk to yourself so that you can have your inner peace. That is what mindful practice is. Next is self-awareness, empathy, and stress management. Yes, I'll come to that stress management in the last, but first talk about self-awareness and empathy. Self-awareness is you should be aware about yourself, what is happening all around you, right? And the things that you are eating, the things that you are speaking, all those things comes under this category. And please show some empathy to others. Be courteous to people, help people, and you will, in return, you will gonna get this emotional development. Lastly, the stress management. So if your software will be strong, you will not gonna face any problem related to stress management. See, I'll put an example. What are the things under your control related, the things related to yourself or the things related to others? Obviously the answer must be the things related to yourself. There are many people who will say that I get angry very easily. I lose my temper very easily. How can you work on that part? Is because this is something related to yourself, so you can work on it. If it is not in your control, you can't work on it, boss. So simple. If I'm going to attend, let's say I'm going for a vacation and everything has been planned, what is in my control? Myself. That's it. What if the car is doesn't come on time? What if the flight get delays? What even if my reservation is there, but I'm not getting the hotel, right? I can fight, I can have a stress. All those things are there, but the point is that you can calm down yourself. So whatever things that are your control, just work on that part. And that is all about your software. For that, I would like to recommend one video, and there it is. So these are the two videos that I would like to recommend, especially this Dandapani, Unwavering Focus, which can help you to focus and understand that how the things should gonna go. So you can watch this Leading with Emotional Intelligence, but my recommendation is Dandapani's video, Unwavering Focus, which is really gonna help you. I'm definitely sure. So please take a screenshot or maybe you can note it down. That can gonna help you. And with this, we are moving to the last skill set, physical development. This is all, I mean, this is common. Each one of us is aware about it. Yes, we have to exercise, we should take some good nutrition, and we should sleep properly. We should have 7 to 8 hours sleep, some say 6 hours sleep, but it is all about what you are good at. See, I will not say that okay, this is good for you, this is bad for you. It is you need to identify what is good for you. You all know that already, in fact. So take your target. This is not about that okay, you have to reduce your weight or you have to gain weight. It's about being healthy from inside as well as outside, and it is talking about from the outside. What is your stature, how good you are, what is your personality, all about your physical development from the outside or the exterior. So do sleep properly, do exercise, work on your health by taking care of all these things. We all are aware that fast food is not good for us, and healthy food we should eat. We all are aware of, but are we able to adhere? And the answer must be sometimes yes, sometimes no. So how can we make discipline? It's simple. And I'll tell you what. If you have made a point that okay, I have to eat healthy, and in case you like to eat some unhealthy food or maybe some kind of junk food, at that point of time, what you can simply do is punish yourself, increase your intensity of the exercise, and then you can improve. So this is how you can work on your physical development. I'm not talking much on it because we all are aware about it. But if you're facing any specific problems related to this and you want to talk about, we can discuss this in the question answer round. So this is all about the skill sets that we talked about. So let's quickly understand the mental growth, the cognitive abilities that you need to improve, the social growth, your networking, your communication skills comes under this category, your spiritual and emotional growth, the software that you need to bolster, you need to work on, right? And lastly, the physical growth, which talks about your strength, your stamina, the way you look, your personality, all those things comes under this category. So this is the summary of what we have discussed. This was a small session where we just talked about the self development, because I believe that if I need to deliver the quality, not the quantity. Similarly, you have to work on your quality, not the quantity, even if you're talking about the self development. Now, I am open for the questions. If you have any questions, we can talk about that. Yes, or maybe Nandini, if you can go ahead with, we can talk about it. Or if you have any questions, just unmute yourself and you can definitely, I mean, we'll welcome your questions. Okay, I can see the chat box. Okay, excellent plan examples to focus on what we are good at. Thank you. Mamta ji, Anupama ji, good morning. Thank you, Prashant ji. How to handle self-criticism or negative self-talk? Very wonderful question that you have asked. And yes, it is a pain. I will not deny, and I'll be honest with you guys. So if someone is criticizing you or you are getting some negative self-talks in front of you, it is very difficult to remove that. I mean, to improve on it. So guys, not gonna help you at that point of time. Okay, initially it's not possible. So how can it be improved? You need to work on your software first. And once it is improved, then only you can work on it. So then you will be able to understand that I know myself. Who am I? So if other person is negatively affecting me, it will not going to affect. So the point here is that you need to work yourself so that you can identify who you are. Currently, the problem is that we do not know ourselves. Our ego tells us, I'm sorry to use this word, but that's true. We feel that, okay, we have done something, we have achieved something, we have this much things in our hand, or maybe at our back end. How can someone say this to us? All these things creates problem. So if you really able to understand who you are, trust me, these negative things will not gonna help you, not gonna affect you at all, and you'll be just cool and calm. And to start with, how can you start with? My uh, suggestion would be, please be calm, don't react, and that is what your self discipline come to. I hope I'm able to answer this. Sir, we are expecting something from others, and if they are not able to fulfill, means we get frustrated. How can we deal with this issue? Absolutely correct, Prashantji. That happens with all of us. So the problem is, and we know the solution exactly. So I'll be saying this thing. That's it. What the expectation is that please do not expect something from someone. If you'll not expect, the things will not gonna work. But to be honest, that is not the practical thing. We have our expectations. We have our expectations before we do something, and that's pretty okay. So what we have to do, as I told you already about the self development, we have to work on ourselves first. Then you can have some kind of rights to others. Please understand, you cannot change yourself. How do you expect someone else to be changed? And that's a paradox, huge paradox. You cannot get out of it just like that. So my request would be, please work on yourself first. Know yourself first, and then you can work on others. To start with, I cannot simply say that you shall not have an expectation to the other. I would suggest you start writing diary from tonight, from today itself. Before you sleep, please write your diary. And you know what? We have expectations to others. Just note it down in a diary. Just note it down in a diary. Do not share it with anyone else. Do not share it with yourself as well. Just put it in a diary. So it's like that. Our brain is like, we have to share something to people. So we have shared it with diary. That's it. And it shall not bother you. Slowly and gradually, you will be having an habit, and then you will be able to understand this. That's what my suggestion, Prashantji. I hope I've answered. Okay. So in general, I'll provide an example, answer with example. So if I talk about how can we create personal branding through growth, this reminds me a couple of reels and YouTube videos. But I'll like to talk about that Dangal video of Mr. Amir Khan. I don't know whether you are aware about it or not, but when the director approached Mr. Amir Khan, he said that, okay, sir, we need your two type of transition. We want you to be obese in couple of scenes, and in one scene, we want you to be, very much fit, with six packs. So we will be starting with, because you are lean already. So we'll be starting with this. We'll be shooting with your fit body first, and then you can get obese. Mr. Amir Khan said, no, no, no. We will be doing it reverse. First, I'll be obese. We'll be, first I'll eat so many things. And then you can shoot that. And then I will have some kind of motivation to be lean. And then he did that. So what am I talking about is like, you need to click your picture at today. If you are talking about your, if you're talking about your branding. So initially, if you remember, we did a test. We compared ourselves with our 5 years ago and then 10 years ago. So we do not have any competition with anyone else. Trust me, guys. In terms of money, in terms of happiness, life, belongings, assets, nothing. Just ourselves. Just compare yourself with your 5 years ago and 10 years ago, and then that's how it can do. So if you want to, create your personal branding for growth, compare it with today's. On 11th of December, how that person is on all those 5 parameters, and then make a plan. Okay, how will you be improving for next 1 month, then 2 months, then 3 months? Or you can have this review session every fortnightly, like every 14 days, you can have a review session that, okay, how much improvement I have done, how much improvement I have done. If you are not that much disciplined, then you can have some more people included in it. And that's how you can go ahead. I hope Gauravji, I've answered. Okay, great. Thank you so much for all your wishes and your appreciations. How to overcome with my personal setbacks in professional space. First thing is that, Monica ji, first thing is that please admit them. The problem with us as a human is like whenever we make mistake, we do not want to accept that. You know what? Whenever any party lose election, what do? We will do some review meetings and we will identify why did we lose our election. Similarly, you have to do. If you got a setback, just sit down, okay? Talk to yourself and identify why it has happened. So you can apply this approach called 5 why approach. This is called 5 why approach. What does it mean? Let's say, for example, you were not able to perform Well, ask why. You will gonna answer because you did not get proper time to work on. Then ask why again, why you did not get time, right? Then you will understand, okay, because you were busy in some other work, or maybe you went somewhere else. Then you ask, why were you busy in somewhere? Or why did you go somewhere else? Because it was more important. So just do 5 why analysis, and through which you can identify your problems, your mistakes, and analyze them. And always with wholeheartedly accept your mistake, because we are not perfect, and that is what correct with everybody, correct? So this is how you can work on it. And just one disclaimer, it's not necessary that every time you require to do 5 times why. Sometimes you may require to do it 2 times, 3 times, and then you can get your answer. Or sometimes you may even require to break down it more further beyond the 5 limit as well. So that's how it can help you. Thank you so much, Anupama ji. Thank you everybody for your appreciations. I guess, ma'am, we can finalize the session now.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much for such a nice, wonderful session, sir. I once again, Lakshmi, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to express my sincere, hearty vote of thanks to you, Mr. Amit Gupta. And we have
Thank you.
got such a good opportunity to listen to this fascinating and thought provoking discussion on personal growth and management. So, you had masterfully shared your knowledge, leaving us with such a valuable insight and inspiring ideas. Yes, additionally, I would like to extend my thanks to everyone here. Your participation has made this event even more meaningful and fruitful. As all good things must come to an end, I consider us all fortunate to have been a part of this workshop, which was rich in knowledge and learning.